Shout out Franklin Delano.
Fireside, yeah. FDR. Little ode to FDR here.
Where are we at?
We are at the Shark Tank.
Shark Tank?
With the U.S. Army Warrior Fitness Team again. Shark Tank, we can't really, we were just talking about, you were talking about geotagging it. We can't geotag it.
Can't disclose.
And I believe the Shark Tank is where the San Jose Sharks play.
Oh, really?
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
It's a TV show, too. But yeah.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it is, though.
Yeah.
The wind is blowing right in Captain Murphy's face.
Every once in a while, you're just going to have to.
There's some physics to it, and like it's coming this way.
I feel like you're
Wasn't always say that smoke's attracted to beauty? Isn't that it?
I've never heard that, but I like it.
Yeah, you dig it?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, what did you do to your leg?
Mountain biking accident in the parking lot, not on the
on set trail.
Yeah,
that was a great time today. We've had so first day. We did the first podcast the first day.
We did.
We've done a lot of things since that first day.
Action-packed week.
So much fun. We got to jump out of planes. We got to go hang out with fifth group and the 160th. Had to ride in some helicopters, do some obstacle course stuff, and then probably my favorite thing was blowing stuff up. I'm a little bit of a little bit of a sociopath, I think, maybe.
I think that's pretty normal, actually.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of things. Like, people shoot guns, people do things, but not a lot of people mess around with C4.
No, C4 or det cord, like
for sure. Very unique.
It was incredible. Just everybody that we've encountered and everybody that we've gotten to talk to have been super gracious with their time and also just super knowledge. Like, watching those guys go through that. They did a demonstration. They were training, and we were just watching them go through a shoot house yesterday was one of the highlights, I think, just to see how, like, smooth and fluent when they work, and it was incredible. So, man, it's been a great time today. We got to do some mountain biking. Yeah, that was fun.
We've all wrecked here except for you, right? Everybody else.
I washed out just a touch. I was pushing it a little hard. Came around one of those corners. There was some leaves in the back end, kind of, and I tried to pedal out of it. And just
that was after you passed me. Yeah.
Yeah, I just laid down a little bit, and I was like, nope, nobody's around. All right, I'm up, going.
Yeah, we even with the advantage of having practiced last week, I was like, Murph, I can't bike, so you're gonna have to put the team on your back, and he hung for a little bit.
That was a fitness ride.
It was a fitness ride, yeah.
Fitness ride, and the fittest man on the earth. I'm not gonna keep up, so.
No,
we got passed pretty early.
It was a good time. Like it was. Those trails are a ton of fun. We were out Waverly.
Yeah.
Waverly trails.
Yeah,
it was like a good mix of some fitness with some downhill with some switchbacks and all that kind of stuff.
With some crashing.
Some crashing.
Jim and I
went down.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Crashes, bike problems. We had a lot of bike problems today.
Man, I bought brand new bike, the chain.
Yeah. What did you say? $10,000
$10,000 bike, cheap train. Yeah, I guess. I don't know what happened. Honestly, it's user error. It has an electric shifter, which is very weird and new to me.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's got that Bluetooth, baby.
Bluetooth. Thanks. Shout out to Specialized. It's an incredible bike.
Specialized.
But I just am not used to this. The first time I've ridden it, and so it's almost like it's all on one button.
Okay.
And so it's an up and down versus where I'm used to having two separate buttons for shifting gears, and so it was completely user error. I was shifting in some spots when I shouldn't shift, or accidentally shifting because it was a little touchy.
Getting a lot of kick on the chain.
Yeah, so I put a lot of torque on that chain, and
You guys smell that dog shit?
No.
I do.
You're gonna lick that white dog
Really?
shit.
Yeah, I can smell it.
You must have stepped in it because I don't smell it over here.
It's right over there by your foot.
Oh,
did you step
probably
in it?
on
Did
your
I step
foot?
in it?
But it couldn't have been recent because the dogs are gone. So
where are they at?
I definitely don't think I stepped on anything.
I think I got.
There's a pile right over there.
Little dude.
How do you guys say that in the Army? I reconned the place prior.
Yeah,
you did. Yeah,
did that reconnaissance.
I
know where it's at.
Bowl's not.
Prep to battlefield, baby.
So yeah. What was your favorite part of the last couple of days? You guys get to do some of that stuff every once in a while, but what was?
No, I've never ridden on the helicopter like that.
These are all unique to us.
Riding on the side of the helicopter.
Yeah.
Like normally there's.
Civilians aren't allowed to do that.
I'm sorry.
Something about
it wasn't as much fun as riding the cockpit.
Oh, okay.
Obviously,
Right.
The close second.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and you had the controls right there.
I know, but I couldn't touch. Man, I didn't want to crash us.
But
good. I'm
dude.
glad.
So they were right there.
Funny story about that. Like I'm just staring at because as he's moving them, they move.
So they're not unhooked or anything.
No, and as he's we're going up, he's pulling back, and I had that body armor on and had the mags in the front, empty mags. And it's hitting the mags, and I'm like, I'm gonna crash us. I'm trying to tuck in. It was terrifying.
My goodness.
Man,
That's
those
wild.
pilots are incredible, though.
How are
Yeah.
you guys attached to the outside? What's the?
So there's a body tether, and it's basically like just this 5-foot long cord that connects you, and it's rated to hold way more than your body weight, so it's safe, and you're linked into a rigger's belt, but it
You'd
doesn't
still
stop
dangle
you.
for a little while.
It doesn't stop you from falling off. You would just dangle
Oh,
at
wow.
that point. Yeah, and there's no like grab handles or anything like that to try to grab. There's like a little crossbar across to the top that you can put your hand on, but it's
Yeah, these were little birds. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they call them, little birds.
Yeah.
for sure.
It was cool when you were taking off, when you were leaving. I saw you, kind of the way the helicopter and the silhouette of the sun.
Yeah.
I could see your GoPro
Oh, awesome.
kind of hanging off. It was kind of cool. You could
Yeah,
see.
we were trying to get some good footage up there.
Was that thing tethered to you somewhere? Or are you just holding it?
Oh, man, so it was not. I don't think I prepped it well, especially after the Golden Ice jump. Like, I should have known that this week was going to go and I was going to need some hand tethers for the cameras. But yeah, I basically said I'm going to hold on. There's a lot of wind, a lot of turbulence up there, and so as soon as I would get it kind of outside of where the fuselage of the bird was, it would kick it back, and so I started trying to work around and things like that. But yeah, I mean, if it kicked too hard and I wasn't holding on, it's gone. It was gone. So yeah,
It was fun.
kind of holding it.
Yeah, every once in a while you'd see it come up.
Yeah.
I got to wear the helmet.
Richard,
like
give me a nice little wave.
Yeah, I got to wear the pilot helmet
Those things are
on the way
sweet.
back. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, with the shield and
Yeah,
everything?
with
the
that's
black
pretty
shield.
cool.
Yeah, it was
nice.
cool.
When he
It was
he came
That's
walking
nice.
off,
Yeah.
looking for the belt after you'd landed the
Oh, the
first
crew
time, and
chief,
you still
yeah.
had that
And I
belt
tried to
around your
steal
waist.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he came walking across like Darth Vader
Darth
or
Vader.
something
Yeah,
It
coming.
was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, give him his belt. Jeez, Chandler.
Yeah,
Play around.
The pilot was pretty. He wanted those belts. He was like,
Yeah,
"You take
for
my
sure.
belt."
Well, I mean, so yeah, it had IR strobe on it. It had some med kits because, I mean, yeah, if you go down, like, I guess that's what
You're
saves you.
self-medding yourself. Yeah.
If you fall off, that's it.
Yeah.
You got that belt. So, yeah, I guess big safety thing. They need it.
That's pretty cool. You just see that stuff in the movie, so
Yeah.
see that in real life.
Yeah, it was awesome, and to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
That-
cool.
But the one pilot was like 30 years.
Yeah, he's 30 years. You guys explained that. So he's 30 years, and you guys said he went in. He
Yeah.
goes in as an officer.
So he went as an officer. He was a pilot. And then so the higher up you get in the ranks, we got a couple pilots on the team explain this to us. But basically, after your captain time, you're pretty much done flying on the officer side. And so a lot of guys will go to warrant and start flying. But he had
What
a
does
little
warrant mean? Sorry.
warrant officer.
Okay.
It's basically a rank down from the officers. And in between the enlisted soldiers, but they're more specialized, and so you can fly as much as you want as a warrant. But he had a little break in service, went enlisted, and became a Green Beret. So the guys we work with in 5th Group, which is absolutely insane for somebody to be at that level, but also be a Green Beret, and then go warrant and get selected to 160th.
That's incredible.
As a special operations pilot.
But that's like the level of professionalism they have across everybody. Like everybody, there's only so many guys who are as good as that guy, and there's only so many guys who are as good as the guy who's walking us around. Like and the Army's a big pool. There's a million folks in the Army. So like to get selected for one of these really high level organizations, you have to be the best at your job in the Army, and it's really cool to be around folks who are like that professional and that
awesome.
good, because like that means they're the best in the world.
Yeah,
like,
heck yeah. And you could
recognize-
tell.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
could
mean,
tell.
and that's what we were saying. To be both those things, to be Special Forces and a Special Operations Aviation pilot, I mean, there's a handful, maybe.
Yeah. It's incredible. He was cool too.
Yeah.
You could tell at first he was a little like straight business, and then
Yeah.
he loosened up a little bit.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was just
definitely.
like-
The flight back
when
was
we
loose.
Yeah, when he went to his we changed his plan. He was like,
Yeah.
You could tell he wasn't
Oh,
happy.
yeah,
I would
I
have known this
felt bad.
yesterday. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
don't kill us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted to back off a little bit, but I know we needed to
Yeah, no, it
get
was
some
great.
stuff. So, but
And he was great. He was
definitely
awesome.
helped
He
us
did,
out, yeah.
He was like, never mind. It's not that big a dick. You could tell he was
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah. And the touch and go building hops was,
Dude,
that was wild.
So cool.
Yeah.
And then dropping into like an area that a helicopter should barely fit, you know? Like,
yeah. Car parking spot.
Yeah.
And they just,
Drop in, up,
Yep.
going. And then like seeing trees come at you, and you're like, we're going to make it over that? All right, there it is. Yep, sure we are.
yeah. Yeah.
Multiple times. I know that everybody's the best in the world. I was telling myself that on the way up to the plane. I'm telling myself that on the helicopter. But there's something about being in airspace when you're not controlled that's just fundamentally scary. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm
For sure.
kind of glad I wasn't
Especially
in
when
control.
you're
But
falling
yeah,
out.
heck yeah. Dude,
So-
that was fun.
I thought I was really privileged to get to listen to the SOF instructors
Yeah.
at the range. So they weren't just actual Green Berets. They were the instructors who taught the
Yeah, those guys
rifle
were
and pistol and
awesome.
And the thing is too, so like among the Green Berets, like part of their mission set is like training and teaching like local forces to wherever they're deployed. So like everyone in the Green Beret, they all like have every Green Beret like can speak a foreign language, and they're all like really really smart dudes. But on top of that, like so they all know how to teach, right? That's part of their job description. But to be a teacher among the teachers, among the best folks in the world, it's
and multiple languages.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Those are like the best of the best of the best.
Yeah, each one of them got to talk for just a little bit and share with us, and it was incredible because they engaged immediately, and I mean, we're super sharp when it came to teaching.
What I thought was most phenomenal was how they carried those black boxes around their face for the whole
Oh yeah, no,
day.
right? That was
You just
impressive.
never
Like just
yeah.
a black box. You couldn't tell who they were. No facial expressions.
Probably
No
make
nothing
more
like
sense
that.
just to wear masks.
I know, right?
That one big tall dude, man, he looked like something from a
Clark
Marvel
Kent.
movie.
Clark Kent, yeah.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, like maybe he could be Superman.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was Superman.
Yeah.
he
That's
is.
real life
Is
Superman.
not was is.
Is
The
Oh,
dude,
sorry. Is.
I don't know if you saw when they were showing them using the saw to break down
boy.
the steel grate.
Yep.
He had a piece of metal like fly.
It's a molten metal stuck in his face, and I'm like, you have metal in your face. He's
Like,
like,
you know,
oh, okay.
like, yeah, the girls get dermals and stuff like that
Yeah.
with just like
And he
crystal.
just keeps-
it looked like that,
He
but
keeps
it's
talking,
burning in his skin.
and he keeps talking.
Didn't care.
And we told him, and then like 10 minutes later, we were about to take
Yeah.
a picture, and he's like,
He said, "Yeah, somebody grab a pig."
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
that was
It was
cool.
wild.
And I think, like I said, what was so cool about it was they weren't annoyed by us asking
Not at
stupid
all.
questions.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
and so they were just
yeah.
like not annoyed or not
For
bothered.
sure.
Like it was awesome.
But yeah, the fact that like you could bring up, and they're so relevant, and they know their craft so well that they say so focused that you brought up a new site that you bought, and they're like, "Which one?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you tell them, and they start talking through
Yeah,
that
it was
exciting
awesome.
site and the looks on it, and man, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool too. You know, you were talking about where to zero in your site
Right.
from, and
Yeah.
they gave you some really cool information and things that people don't normally think about. So
I went to a civilian seminar, and it was a train wreck. Everybody was trying to cite their AR,
Yeah.
and the instructor didn't even get it right, and I left really confused.
Yeah.
And actually, in the end, I stayed, and one of the other instructors was trying to help me, and we still didn't get it right. So I kind of left the
did you
whole
find out
experience
where to
going.
get those the papers, the citing
No, but
papers? I'm sure we can Google it.
Yeah.
I think that like this whole thing's been an example across the board. Like when folks are passionate and not like the cutting edge of whatever it is they're doing. Like there's a respect among people who are really pour themselves into their craft. He was one of the instructors said something about he wanted guys who like stayed up at night who were that obsessed over teaching what they teach, right? And like that's kind of, you want to be surrounded by people who feel the same way about fitness. And
because I get it and I understand.
Yeah.
And what's cool, and so he said that behind the scenes, the gunnery sergeant, and later on, the guy was mad about what the cut.
Yeah.
Like he went maybe an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch off, and it kind of like
If that dude's building a garage and he's cutting that looks
Dude,
perfect.
It's like building a garage
about,
with
like,
my
C4 or
grandfather.
something?
Yeah.
No.
What you talking about, the
So
cut?
he was
Oh,
cutting
with the saw.
No, he's cutting
Yeah.
with the saw. He was angry that the saw came. When he had it overhead. He has this giant saw, super heavy saw. He's balancing on his head, and instead of walking it this way, he turned with his hips a little bit, and the saw kind of came out for a split second and then back in.
Right.
And it just kind of like brushed.
scarred the top.
scarred the
Yeah.
top. Who cares?
Which
And
you're
he's-
infilling a building.
Yeah.
So I think that's
So
but
he
yeah.
was
right.
like, "Oh, look at that! Look what I did!" And he's like angry. He's like, "This is gonna keep me up at night." And so Chandler was like, "That's exactly what he was talking about."
Yeah.
So it was cool for his I guess superior to say that, like he wants guys like that,
Yeah.
and not around him. And then he says the
Yeah.
same thing. So it was pretty awesome. So
Sure.
And one of the other things that stood out to me was the way that the enlisted guys talked with the officers inside of the special forces. Kind of help me say it right, but the bubble there,
Sure,
which
the
was really-
community.
the
It's a little bit
community
more
was
laid
a
back,
little
I
more
guess.
laid back.
Yeah, there's a mutual respect, and they know they're all professionals and they're good at what they do, and yeah, I mean they have just kind of that understanding that on a personal level, more things can get done, and we
Right.
can help each other out more. So
it's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun to be a part of, and you see some of that stuff in the in movies or whatever, but to see those guys and how they work and how just true professionals they were, it was
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
pretty cool.
How
So,
big is Campbell? Do you guys even know? Like,
Did they say it was one of the largest, like landmass wise?
I mean, it's a large training area. I've never been stationed there, but I mean, there's an entire division there.
3 combat brigades.
Yeah, so 3 combat brigades, a special forces group. So it's got to be a decently large special forces group and a special operations aviation regiment, and the headquarters. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people there
Yeah,
for sure.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we flew around it, and I was like,
We're
still on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. So, where's the gold at?
I don't think we still know where to go with
Nobody
that.
knows.
Where
Where
we
to go with
at?
that?
Where to go
Where
with
to go with
that?
that?
Somebody
Stay
better
up in
get
that tree.
Better get a backhoe.
Yeah.
That's what. Seriously though, that's the one thing that frustrated me this weekend because you guys nobody gave us a straight answer about that.
Did you ask our commander?
I should have when he was here.
You can ask him tomorrow. We'll see him tomorrow.
Okay. Everybody would just, I don't know, maybe there might be gold. No one
If
knows
somebody
for
listening
sure.
to the show has any insight, like hit us up.
Hey, let us know in the comments, like, if you've
Yeah.
seen the gold.
I don't
Where to
believe you.
look- Where to go with that? So, question. So, is it a little bit more relaxed when you guys are out of uniform with him here, or is it still the same, like...
I think so.
Yeah.
He's come on a decent amount of trips with me, at least with the rest of the team. And yeah, I think there's still that same, like
Yeah.
we were talking about, that mutual respect, understanding that when we're here with the team, with guests and things of that nature, things are on a first name basis. We're all personal because on the floor, like there's no rank out there. Like I'm not gonna expect to call Sergeant Pfaff on the floor,
Right.
And getting into him like it's Jacob.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
cool.
so yeah, he understands that. He comes from that community as well.
That's cool.
And so I think there's an understanding that when we're out here training together and competing and we have
Having
guests and
fun,
things
you
of
want
that
it to be
nature.
more laid back
Yeah.
and where you can get your stuff done instead of worried about all the...
It's just that team building mentality that we talked about.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's been cool. It's been a learning experience. It's I was saying I commend you guys because it would be tough, especially now. Not you guys have kind of not grown up in it, but you've done it for years. It's just completely different and way more discipline than I'm used to, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, we kind of do what we want to do.
yeah.
And then
I think it's just it's a different set of expectations. Like there's a reason why you guys do what you do in the team space. Like there's a set of expectations
there you are.
for
Hey,
yeah,
good to
sorry.
see you, man. Oh, you're good.
There's a set of expectations for the athletes on your team, and like people who aren't in that space like would be like, whoa, this is like you guys do it
that's
like
true.
this,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
every culture, especially high performing ones, have like a few markers and identifiers. They might like look different on the surface, but at the end it's basically like it seems that everything is kind of the same because it's all focused around like performance, right? Like the reason they're not using names in the same way is because they're focused on performance. The reason you guys are doing the things that you do differently in other groups because you're focused on performance, and like that focus it cuts away all the other stuff that is not
the
leading
stuff that's
results.
not productive.
So,
can you imagine how I'm just overwhelmed by how big the base was and how many people were there? All the equipment. If it wasn't organized, man,
Yeah, you'd have
Oh,
to. You
it'd
have
be
those
wild.
levels of organization.
couldn't get anybody going anywhere.
No, for sure. We talked about like losing things earlier. Like I think that's why there's those controls.
Yeah.
To keep those in place.
What's somebody like if you guys were going to recruit somebody coming out of high school? What's that perfect guy or gal look like?
Man, perfect.
team sports experience for sure.
Yeah, that's what we talked. Team sports,
we've
physically
talked that a
fit.
couple times, yeah.
I think is the big one because people are going to learn their jobs at AIT basic, like they're going to go through their training. So background knowledge and in an individual task isn't necessarily important, but definitely having that team and physically fit background makes a good candidate.
I'd say internal drive as well because you're going to get taught everything that you need to know, but for everybody who we've met in the last few days had to make a decision at some point to pursue something individually that was going to allow them to rise above the level of like the common soldier, and like that's not coming from somebody else, and the motivation to stick through a selection or a ranger school or something like that isn't coming from they don't issue that to you, right? Like you got to kind of come with that,
earn
on
it
your
a
own.
little bit, yeah.
So that's kind of thing. What are you guys looking for in hypothetical?
Yeah, no,
people?
that's actually a great question. Obviously the fitness, you gotta have the fitness piece of it, but really, honestly, somebody we can hang out with is usually what I'm more looking forward or looking at, I guess. Someone that I wouldn't mind hanging out with, and someone that, wants to be there and wants to fit in and wants to work hard. That's, I always talk about, Haley, Tasia, Ellie, the girls that have been around for so long now that it's like, that you can't, some of the things you can't teach, and some of the things that you're just like, all right, if I say, hey, what workout you want to do, and they're not afraid to say, hey, I want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like, I like to have some feedback versus me being, the one that's
dictating
just doing all of it. So, we were talking about it today at lunch, and playing team sports is a huge thing, a great base, I guess, for any job. Being able to relate to different people, how to motivate different personalities. I think somebody for sure that's done team sports is huge.
I feel we have a common saying in the Army. Folks always say like the Army's a people business, but an extension of that I've heard before is like life is a team sport, right? Yep. There's no situation where you're ever completely, unless you move to the wildlands or whatever, but like pretty much in every context you're going to have to be good at working with other folks in order to help build towards whatever goal you're working towards. So like this, anytime you've gotten repetitions of having to lean outside yourself or integrate other people into whatever you're doing, like that's reps, and team sports is like the easiest example
for sure. And having adversity in not team sports is going to be way less than it would be in the Army, say in battle or something, but it's cultivated there, and man, it's going to be tough, honestly, like moving forward with just the way, you hate to say, the next generation, but it just leaving generations out of it with technology, and people don't talk to each other, like you notice kids and younger adults are always on the phone. It's tough. Like I'm interested to see, I don't want to say, I always hate the like comparing generations and hey boomer or, millennials suck and all that stuff. It's like, it should just be people, but it's going to be something we're going to have to figure out, the lack of interpersonal communication face to face. A lot of people want to talk behind, we talked about this, people want to talk behind a keyboard because there's safety there.
Absolutely.
I forgot who said it. I think it was Andy Stump or something like that. Something to the effect of don't say something to somebody that you're not willing to get punched in the face for, or something like that.
True.
It's just frustrating now.
I heard a psychologist saying the other day that, simply it's just so true that happiness and success in our lives is really based on how well we get along with other people. It's pretty foundational. And he was saying that in the future that people are going to be dealing with loneliness, and he was predicting there was going to be a loneliness problem because of,
I think that's already a thing.
Yeah,
culture.
No, for sure. I mean, we got we're so involved in our box.
In media.
Yeah,
and in the end, it doesn't satisfy us.
Nope.
In the end,
no, because you're going to run out of likes, you're going to run out of clicks. I know I preach it every time we've had a podcast, but not being on social media the last couple months, obviously, like we still run mine, and I say like the captions and all that stuff, and it's part of, but even pulling back a little bit on social media, not looking for the reward of a like has been incredible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like my life is so much better living in, you always talk about it, living in the present, living in now, and 100%. being present.
Well, and I think that's one of the big draws towards the military that we don't talk about a lot, is just that ability to meet and develop friendships that last a lifetime, but people that you're always surrounded, whether you're lower enlisted and you're living on post, like there's always people there, or you're an officer on a team, like there's people surrounding you all the time, and you create those relationships, and I think that's one of the big things that the military offers. So yeah,
it's like having the joys of team sports when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
We were joking about, because the first night we were here, we all had separate rooms.
Yeah.
And I was like, Rory, why are we doing that? He's like, well, I don't know, I just figured everybody want to be by themselves. I was like, man, I'm lonely. I like to,
oh, exactly.
Last couple nights, I'm like, no, let's sure. two people to a room. Like I don't know. Like
exactly.
Jim was like, leave me by myself. But I like, I guess it takes me back to like baseball trips and college stuff where I'm like, I just like people. I miss my kids. I miss my wife.
Absolutely. Same way.
I like people.
Same way.
I know, and I get like some people want their space, and at bedtime, like you don't want to be. So and so's got to be up for an extra couple hours. Somebody wants to leave the TV on, that type of stuff. But man, I just like people.
No, and especially like we're talking about in a space, in a world where there's so many opportunities to avoid those interactions, like embrace it. Like be where you're at, and really relish the fact that, you know, within y'all space, right, you guys have like an excellent community that people, even in CrossFit gyms, which are an outlier in terms of like that community, you guys are an outlier, and like, so that type of community, like, enjoy it, because, you know, I don't know how long everything's going to be as great as it will be, but like, you know, and other people would just kill for that opportunity. They're missing that piece
for sure
in their lives.
And I'm not going to lie and say, you know, every once in a while when I'm walking in the grocery store and I see somebody and I'm like, I just don't want to talk to anybody right now. I don't not go down the other aisle, like that happens. But for the most part, I want to hang out with people, you know.
You did a good job with that.
Yeah, it's just, it's tough. So
military it's also interesting that there's really, you have so many different cultures, so many different races.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many different people from, you know, small towns, big towns. And
represent everyone in America, yeah.
And everybody's got to work together and get along. And
that's awesome too. And you can put all the stuff aside, like regardless you don't agree with somebody or something, like you're focused on getting whatever it is done, and there's no space for that in the workplace, which is something I really appreciate.
Yeah,
a lot of people working towards one goal. So
it works actually. It's you know, in the military it works.
Oh, it could work. You know,
we can get along.
We can disagree. It's crazy the world we live in right now. You can't disagree about anything, and not, you know, set somebody off.
Right.
So it's pretty crazy. But
definitely something we do right. Been really grateful for that. Like, there's, I mean, you know, we got people even on the team, you know, from both coasts. Every single demographic you could possibly imagine is represented in this group of 15. And you go, you know, a size bigger, you'll have some really unique stories, soldiers who immigrated from other countries and all this stuff. And, you know, when you encounter that many different types of people on a day-to-day basis, like, you just kind of realize your biases, you know, they have to fall away because like, you're all working together.
You have to work with them. You can't, you know,
it's just something you stop thinking about. Like, I don't know if we take it for granted, but it's just, it's not a mindset that we really have.
No, I think it's great. You know, something everybody could, you know, really learn from, I guess. I don't know how you would do that with the greater public, but, you know, starts with one person, I guess. Starts with each person, you know, each individual person. Yeah. Was that a burp?
No. There's a lot of...
Smoke, man, you're getting hammered.
Get the wrong spot.
I don't know if people can see it here, but Murph's just like inhaling smoke.
Taking smoke to the face.
His eyes are tearing up half the time.
Not the first time.
We're sitting in front of this fire.
I thought he was just emotional. I thought he was like, it's so beautiful.
Right?
Life is so
awesome.
good.
This is a really good talk.
Chat, you know?
Or he talking about loneliness. We're all
so pumped because he actually survived the second and third runs on the mountain bike.
Yeah.
Because after the first one, we were riding back up the hill.
He was like, we'll stop here. And I was like,
he was like, they'll catch up. They'll catch up. I kept looking back at Rich because it was me, Rich, and Luke in the front, and they were right there behind, but I was hoping they were further, and I'd look back.
I was like,
and he'd say, they'll catch up. Yeah, they're good. They'll catch up. I'm like, there's a break here. Like, hey, stay left. And he go, yeah, just stay left. And we keep going. So there's no stopping.
I didn't even hear that.
There's no stopping.
I figured you'd been there before, you know. That's why I was like, yeah, he's good. Yeah. He's all right. Yeah, no, I'm actually, that's one of my major design flaws is biking. I don't wait for anybody.
Yeah.
It's been, it's actually been a strain on many relationships.
I was just looking at
safety. Many training partners.
Safety part,
you know, because I just like to go fast, you know.
I noticed,
and I don't like to wait on people on biking stuff. So
I also like to go fast. I just can't go uphill as fast as you can.
Chandler, you've been to Rich's house, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
The front side of that mountain. You remember coming up that in your car?
I remember coming on my feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, you did. But you didn't do it on the road. You did it on the trail.
Is it worse on the
trail?
road?
It's a little worse on the road. Yeah, but it's still nasty on the trail.
So we leave the barn, and when he rides down the face of that, as fast as he can go.
No brakes.
There's a lot of rocks and stuff.
Wide out.
Well, on the road.
On a road bike.
On a road bike, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. That's still. Yeah.
How fast do you think you're going down that?
I've gone 50.
That's too fast on little tires.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100%. And like, you know how your brake has a little play?
Yeah.
To where until it engages? Uh-huh. I make myself feel good enough that like I just take the like a trigger.
You take the play
like
out.
A trigger has a play on it.
Yeah, you set it.
I set it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't actually engage the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
We have multiple stories of, you know, like it's about a 39-mile.
The large one is 39. The normal ride we do is about 24.
Okay.
But you make a turn. If you miss the turn, you take the plight of Josh Bridges, where he missed the turn and turned the 24 into a 39 or 42, something
Love
like
that.
that.
Just
That's
looking for
a-
opportunities to train. That's incredible.
That's a big mistake.
It's a big mistake.
15-mile mistake.
That's a 15-mile mistake, not in a car.
Hey, he's military. You don't make mistakes, right?
Yeah, he was just redirecting.
Bro, I don't think Navy SEALs are good at land nap, though.
Yep.
So I'm not.
We got stories of people getting lost.
Yeah, Taja's gotten lost.
Yeah.
Josh has gotten lost.
Storms, rain.
Running into darkness. Ellie one time got scared of the dark.
I feel like if it's happening this often, like maybe that should be a highlighted part of the brief.
Hold
like,
on. So I saw an episode at one point. We were talking about the Marine. Tosh
Oh, yeah.
took
Tosh,
you
yeah.
guys through a.
Yeah.
I forget what he called it.
You weren't there for
but
it yet. It was just basically a run you into the ground is what you
Yeah.
would call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So when was that? 2017.
A while back.
I think 2017. Started at my house. Went up the halfway. You remember how we ran around my field in the Mayhem Classic, and then you went up?
Yeah.
So we essentially made that trek from there to my dad's without a trail.
But it's at night.
Oh.
It was like the first run was kind of
I remember that.
45
Okay.
minutes to an hour before dark. We get up to the barn at dark.
Okay.
We're in teams. We get up to the barn. When we get up to the barn, Tosh is like, all right, winning team, which what happened was I'm kind of taking the lead. He split us up because Darren, my cousin, kind of knows the area, and so did Dan. Not as well as I'd never been that way before. I kind of knew the mountain a little bit. So he split us up into teams. What they did is they just followed us the whole way up. Well, right at the end, they sprinted around us. I was pissed.
Yeah, obviously.
Pissed. It was almost like,
Got 'em.
yeah, like I get like, I don't know. There's just should be some professional courtesy. Like, hey, I showed you up this mountain, and they like didn't, no bones about it. Like,
Yeah.
sprint around them, and like we had a couple people that were a little farther back. And so Tasha's like, all right, winners get to do this, losers get to do, are having to do something different.
Yeah.
So I'm pissed, like
Yeah, understand.
beyond
Yeah, for sure.
pissed, because we'd helped them out. So they get to go a little before us because we got penalized. We had to do like this. I don't even know what the workout was. It was like an unknown amount of assault bike calories. And one person's on the assault bike and everybody else is doing something else. But every time you wanted to switch off the bike, you had to go, one person from your team had to go down and swim through the pond. And it's March, so the water's probably 50-something degrees. It was like shockingly cold. And so Tosh has a certain number of calories he's got in his head that is the finish, right? Well, they finish. Once we finish, we as a penalty all have to go swim through the water, right? Well, they're waiting for us to get done so they can follow us down.
That's hilarious.
And so Tosh gives us 2 chicken sandwiches and like 4 mini Kit Kats. That was our
For the
food for
group?
the night. Yep. And so whatever. So Dan there's this horse in this field. I think they had the horses up when you were out there. And this horse is like standing at the gate. And Dan is freaking out about this horse.
All right.
And so he's trying to feed the chicken sandwich to the horse. He's like, go get it. And I'm like, the hell is your problem? So I'm like, get out of my way. Like, it's a horse. So I like push the horse out of the way. We hop the fence and we start walking. They start following us. I'm like, hold on. We're stopping. You guys pick your own way. And they stand there like they're waiting for us to make our decision. Well, they're like, well, screw this. We're going to go this way. So they go this way. I made my team walk the whole way down in pitch black so they couldn't see our flashlights and follow us.
Dang.
We get down back to the house. We beat them. Get back down to the house. Tosh makes us carry the sandbag down to the road and back. It's like a mile loop, whatever. Ron Ortiz, Ron?
Yeah.
Big Ron.
Yep, Big Ron. He starts cramping up. So we're trying to carry him along. We get back to the house. They're still not there. Tosh gives us a little like pep talk or whatever. He gives us this thermos full of lava temperature chicken noodle soup.
Okay.
And we're supposed to share it, right? We're going up. You can't drink it. This thing is like, it's like licking one of those logs right there. So we start going up. We get up to Dad's. Well, we get up to Dad's, and Dad's like, you guys can come in for a little bit. Tosh is like, he's preoccupied right now. And we're like, okay. The other group never made it back down. So there's
boy.
like 2 steps of the mountain. You remember you come up, flattens out for a while, and then goes back up.
Yeah, I
they
remember the second
completely
one.
missed the first stop and just kept going down. They ended up at the main road.
Okay.
All the way at the bottom, like in
That's the
people's
wrong direction.
backyards.
For
Yeah, and
sure.
you don't want to really like. People are nice, but if you end
Yeah.
up in somebody's backyard in the middle of the
Yeah,
night,
not
like
great.
it's not good.
Uh-huh.
And so they had to go find them. Well, then
Oh,
we had
boy.
to pick up the worm and carry the worm down the mountain. Well, as we're carrying the worm down the mountain, they come riding up in the back of trucks because they'd found him. They're like, Tasha's like, all right, you guys help them carry the worm. And we're like, you ain't helping us carry this worm. So there's this like struggle where they're like, we're supposed to carry the worm. We're like, you're not carrying the worm. So basically it was nothing. Like it was just like, I think it was 13 or 14 miles of just a beat down, and I don't really even know what the purpose was other than like
just mental toughness.
Mental toughness, I guess. But
sure.
I feel like
at a certain point you're already mentally tough.
Yeah, I'm
though,
like,
right?
it was. I mean, it was an experience. It was fun-ish, I guess.
I mean, it's a story.
Good story,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's just the next day. Everybody's just broken, and it's middle of the open too. So all the girls were mad.
No.
Like they were calling their coaches, like, "We're not doing this." Blah blah blah. Like I won't name some of the names, but they were like, "Well, coach said I can't." That type of deal. Like, and all our girls and stuff were like, "Should we do this?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, we're doing this." So.
Once in a lifetime. I mean, no one remembers your score on your 8th attempt of 17.1.
Exactly. And so, but we got to do something with somebody who's won a Navy Cross, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. Man.
So have you heard about him running was it a marathon or running for 24 hours?
In the pitch black.
In a pitch black,
Yeah.
on a runner, no...
It's incredible.
You can't see the monitor or nothing.
No. In a metal, was it like a
metal container?
That's crazy.
It's impressive.
That's amazing.
Like, I would... One of my fears is being buried alive. I feel like that would feel like I was being buried alive.
So oddly specific. That particular fear.
Yeah, I know it's weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know where it came from.
Like, has it gotten
I was
close?
gonna say because you haven't probably been buried alive before. I had to guess.
No. But man, for some reason it's really one of the only things. No, I'm not really claustrophobic. Like I was a firefighter for years, and
true.
we did confined spaces training and stuff. Like when we would do confined spaces training, I would take one glove off sometime just to feel like some air. But other than I crawled through tiny tubes where you can only have one arm up, and you're pushing your pack, and it didn't bother me. And so I don't know. It's not even like being buried alive under the ground. It's like waking up and having a casket. Right. I think it's dying of boredom. I think really.
Dying of boredom.
I mean, you are so
That sounds
movement
like you, though.
oriented.
I would lose my mind. I feel like.
You do that like 5-inch punch or whatever it is.
I know, but
Kill Bill.
You think that's gonna break through a casket?
And the dirt.
And the dirt that's stacked
Unless
on the
you're
casket.
in a vault, I
Well,
guess.
then so you break it and then you start like.
Oh, then it's coming in. It's like
it pours in on you and you suffocate.
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Is that your big fear? Buried alive?
That's it.
That's
yeah.
your one?
Yeah, grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears. Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of like very specific. I got to be somewhere where grizzly bears are going to get. But I got to be
You
somewhere.
were afraid of sharks before, you were saying.
Yeah, I
and
swam with
you
sharks.
Swam with sharks.
Yeah.
So now
I'm healthy respect for sharks. I'm not afraid of sharks now. Does that make
so
sense?
now you got to go Revenantly,
Absolutely
Leo
not.
DiCaprio. And
Absolutely not. Have you seen the video of them releasing a grizzly bear back into the wild, and there's like a GoPro?
No.
And this thing comes, they back it up in like a Jurassic Park truck, and they open this door, and there's lights like flashing.
What?
And this thing takes 2 steps in probably 35 feet and attacks this camera. You're just like, okay, I'll show you. Remind me. And you'll be afraid of grizzly bears too.
No, I'm already afraid of grizzly bears.
Okay,
don't
good.
worry. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Things
There's
are
no
like
place you can go.
1,000 pounds, and they're crazy fast.
No, you can't climb a tree.
You
You
can't climb a tree, you
can't.
can't
You can't outrun them.
Can't do anything.
Nah, you're done.
That's
Done
it.
for.
Can't really
even shoot them.
Yeah, they're too strong.
You gotta have a big old gun
something.
and shoot
But
a
even then,
couple.
like you got to hit them a couple times.
Yeah, it's like
That's
bang,
what's
bang,
coming at
bang,
you.
bang. You miss one of them,
Yeah.
they're fine. They're like, nah, bro.
Chandler, what are you afraid of? Any fears?
I mean, the list is super long. Most of the things that we've done this week, mountain biking, riding helicopters, jumping out of planes, working out with Rich, like knocking it all out this week.
Okay.
Knocked it all out.
Real fears are actually, pretty much all those. I'm afraid of a lot of things, but I think I have a healthy understanding that I'm afraid of a lot, and like that's kind of what pushes me. I've always told folks, like we kind of talked about this last time I was up there. There's some people who just like love to hurt for like fitness work. Like they are like, oh man, I want to do Fran and like be on my back and feel terrible. I'm afraid.
I try to stay away from hurt.
Yeah, so I stay away from that. Like that's part of the reason why like I feel like I train so hard is so I don't end up like that.
Yep.
I'm just like scared of.
Everybody's
a lot.
like, why are you so good at pacing? I'm like, because I don't want to hurt. So I
miserable.
go slower.
Yeah. If I see a workout, people are like, I'd rather just work out for a minute than an hour. I'm like, honestly, no. It's like, that minute, I'll
Hurts.
be regretting it for multiple hours.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
What about you, Murph?
Aneurysms,
Really?
Yeah.
crocodiles.
Crocodiles. Crocodile's a
that's
good one.
good.
Yeah.
Crocodile's a good one. Alligator crocodile. Yeah.
But like
That's a
an
good one. It's not like
aneurysm?
you're walking around like there's no crocodiles.
But like an
anywhere
aneurysm could get you at any
Anytime.
point. Like right now, pop, done.
do that.
You're asleep, pop, done. You're done.
But
Just
you're
don't wake
done.
up.
But you're done. Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
suffer?
No,
No. So I mean,
no.
I don't know.
But still, like seems like a terrible way.
that's
Like
right.
if there's a way, that's not the way I want to die.
no.
How'd you pick if you could pick?
Yeah, if you could pick.
If you could pick,
This is getting
How you're gonna die?
bro.
In my sleep
Like
at 90?
and you're sleeping, and you like being a Formula One driver and like wrecking at 200 miles an hour. I think would be kind of a cool
skydiving.
No.
I've got this running joke at the house. Like
I don't know, honestly.
Tell my wife and the kids, like if a Harley Davidson shows up in the house and in the garage,
time to go.
It's time, because I'm gonna take the thing off a cliff. That'll be when I can't function anymore and I can just shift gears just enough to be done.
I said I want to shit my pants one time and make somebody clean it up, and then I'm done. One time.
That's all it takes?
Like I don't want anybody to like have to take care of me or anything like that. But one time, man.
But like somebody
I've wiped
like
so many asses.
I
I don't know. I don't really care.
You want to have it flipped?
Yeah, I just want one time to be like, was it really that bad that Trice had to run away every time he took a shit in his diaper? Like,
did your parents ever say like, did you run away? Because I feel like you have had it. You just might not remember.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I did find out. I did find out. My father, great father, never once changed a poop diaper. I was like, how the hell did that? How did you do that?
Nice
Different
work.
times.
Good for seeing.
It's impressive.
Different times, yeah. No, my dad, he's like, well, I couldn't handle shit. You know, I couldn't smell it. I'd want to throw up. I'm like, I want to throw up. There's multiple times I've been the whole time, like trying to change a diaper. Oh man, yeah. That's just my one. I don't know why, but that's just I don't want to live in a nursing home. I don't want to like. I don't want to have anybody ever have to take care of me.
Yeah,
but one time.
I think going from exertion, like the dude who ran the marathon, that'd be pretty cool because then you have a cool story.
Yeah.
Like you went that hard.
And your heart just explodes.
Or, Apollo Creed style, going out in the ring while defeating communism and stuff. Like somehow replicate that. That'd be sweet. Maybe there's like a Chinese CrossFit who's training to beat him.
Yeah. I like that.
Mr. Gorbachev, tearing down this wall.
Yeah. I like that.
Or a Russian CrossFitter.
That's the best answer ever right there.
Well, we already beat Russia. The Soviet Union, Russia's a shell of it, so it's China now.
And we're all dead.
Oh, my bad.
Just kidding.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
You guys had a...
Putin's going to call.
What would you call that this evening here at the Shark Tank? A bro?
We had a bro sesh, lift sesh, and then a little
that 12-minute AMRAP at the end was legit.
That was my arms were hurting a little bit.
We chased the pump. We threw down some weights. Had the rock music going. Like
what was it? It was 12-minute AMRAP.
12-minute AMRAP. One partner's holding a deadlift at the top of the deadlift at 275. One person's rowing until you hit 2K, and then max push-ups. Hand release
push-ups.
However you want to between two people for 12 minutes. You guys beat us.
You got the forearm pump,
bicep
pump,
traps,
pec pump.
It was good. It was hard.
It was intense.
It was fun.
But it was only a couple reps. Like over 12 minutes, the deciding factor was like 3 or 4 reps, right?
Yeah. It's been a lot like the row versus bend. Those have been fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, super fun.
It's really fun to watch because those are objectively miserable workouts.
So bad.
And it's really fun to not be the person doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, wow, this is kind of nice, right? Like, I do like watching people do this, but I don't want to do it,
You can't reveal tomorrow's workout, right?
I think we can. Yeah, nobody's going to hear this until later. And Ben,
that's true.
Ben is supposed to get to pick the workout, but he was going to do something that Rory can't even compete at.
So you're picking the workout.
I took some movements that I know Ben is good at.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He didn't get to pick. Here he is walking up. I felt kind of bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him. Like he could obviously you could make a workout that's just completely one-sided.
Is that coffee?
And I want
Nitro.
Nitro.
Brother, man.
9
what time is it?
It's 8:23.
I might only have a little bit. He texted me said if I wanted some coffee. I said sure.
But he does get to choose like the movements. But I don't know. It's just. So it's a 400-meter run into max squat snatch in a 4-minute AMRAP. Like that's
we talked about
because what happened was the other day the 20 minutes of carrying a sandbag that was too long. It was impressive. Like don't get me wrong.
And it only got separated by like 30 meters.
They were within 10 meters of each other until the very end. Ben started doing that like sprint walk thing or sprint stop thing, and then gave up.
That was incredible.
Rory's just tortoise in the hair,
And so Ben's a good snatcher.
Ben moves well. Like you look at him and. Yeah. He looks fit, but he doesn't look like super fit. The kid's pretty darn fit.
He crushed the O course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he 14 minutes.
Really
that was insane.
15 and a half.
He was moving so fast.
The skateboard balance. Yeah. That was the most impressive thing.
Yeah, he walked basically over those rolling. Whatever.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm telling you,
that's crazy.
If we could just control his life.
If we could control his life, Ben has the most potential of anybody I've ever.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly,
Ben, where are you at? You hearing this?
He's inside now.
He's like
here, but
he's like 3 credits short of a.
He's basically 3 classes away from an art degree. He's 5 classes away from an English major. He's 4 classes away from
a painting degree.
And he's 3 classes away from a design degree. And you're just like, what are you doing, Ben? He's like, well, so we couple months ago we bought a screen printer instead of having all of our stuff screen printed somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And having it multiple different places. Ben started screen printing for us because he had a little bit of a background. He was basically printing money because we were paying him per shirt, right?
Yeah.
Well, then the company that we were using came way down on their prices from before. And so he's printing all these shirts, and Dre's like, man, you should quit school and just print shirts.
Dre.
Granted, Ben's at the point of his life where he's got a little girl, like she's young,
Bob and weave,
18 months, you know.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So he's like, he's got a lot going on. So he needed to take a break probably but he wasn't planning on going back. I was like, dude, just get your degree.
Go
like,
do it. Yeah.
And he's
One of them, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Go get one of
them.
the 6 that you could get within, the next year. And so, but he's a great kid, and he's just an idiot.
So close to being
It
successful.
sounds like he does. He's willing to do the challenge. He's willing to hold in the sandbag for 20 minutes, and you just got to frame it the right way.
Right? Yeah.
Be like, hey Ben, I bet you can't. I bet you can't get 2 degrees.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or he's got 2 degrees.
That's right.
So he's a good kid, but yeah, he's young, and you're just like, man, the potential there, because he's an incredible athlete as well. We were joking about that, but
What was it cold he snatched that day? We offered him $100 or whatever.
trying to cold snatch 255.
PRER, baby, let's go.
PRER is something we say around these parts. You've seen how we lift, so
Yeah, well,
it's truer than.
yeah. Chandler today is like, he's got 135 on the bar, throws 225 on the bar. We had a separate bar that we were cleaning, and I had 185 for a squat clean that I'm warming up. And he's like, I'm like, you want to hit 185 before we go to 225? He's like, no, it's kind of a running joke that we go from 135 to 225. And I was like, speaking from experience,
right?
I'm 33. Don't do that, man. Like, add some warm-ups in there.
You said a couple things like that where I'm like, all right, well, if you're saying it, you've been in my shoes, I've not been in yours. So.
Like, I get it, man. I get, you're young, everything feels great, but it's not going to feel great for forever. No. So,
when did that start kind of catching up with you just a little bit?
29. Yeah, 29 was a hard year for me. And then actually, 30 to 33 has been great. Like, I felt probably the best I have in my life until the last probably 6 months. And then with COVID and stuff, I haven't been able to see my DO that I was going to like every 2 weeks or so. Yeah. And so it's caught up with me in the last couple months, but I'll be all right. Just getting old, man. Just getting old.
Father time. Undefeated.
Father time, undefeated.
Oh.
Yep.
So far. We'll see.
Given advances in science technology, I don't think it's unreasonable to think I can live to 200, 250.
I'm trying. It always bothers me when you guys talk about getting old. Always bothers me.
I just say miles, age is one thing.
I'm older than you.
But I've got a lot of miles. And we were talking about that even on bringing down jerks on your collarbones and stuff like that. You've only got a certain amount of those, I know we always joked about Watson Brown. He was the football coach at Tennessee Tech. He always joked, why you guys work out so much? Good Lord only gave you a certain amount of heartbeats and then you're gone. And there's something to be said about that, your body's only got so many reps and then it's like
if
it's
a car is built for so many miles, 400,000 miles, if you rack up those 400,000 miles early,
you're done. And I don't, but part of it, you're like, I guess technically your heartbeats are numbered.
I wonder if they've done like a longevity test on the average amount of heartbeats per.
It's
per human.
Yeah, right.
Because our resting heart rates are low, right? That balances
maybe it balances out.
I really hope so.
Now you're like, oh man,
we are in trouble.
Well, the problem is we train so damn hard, the resting heart rate doesn't really come down.
Also true.
Because
unless you're sleeping.
If I take a couple, like a day or two, my resting heart rate is like bottoms out, like I'm in the 40s. But most of the time, my resting heart rate's around 60 because we're still your body's still recovering at all times. So
it's the tendons and the cartilage you got to worry about.
Yeah,
that's the stuff.
Yeah, they've only got so much elasticity in those things, and then
muscles
snap.
Yeah, but probably not anytime soon. So
it's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
I don't know. 10, 15 years from now.
Captain America had super soldier serum, right?
Yeah, it'd be really nice if they hooked it up.
I know, right?
Before I
Shouldn't
get
be the Army to test that?
I'm your guy, Uncle Sam.
I'll take
please.
2.
I think we're all in. Yeah. Send us.
That's happening.
Send me.
I'll take it. My body hurts. Put me in.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
I'm ready to play.
Would you re-up if you could be that guy? They just run
if I could be
tests
Captain
on
America?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dude jumps out of a helicopter without a parachute, you know, like just straight,
just checking.
you know.
That's easy question.
That's what we were talking about with, you know, we gave the hypothetical to Ben. He's like, as long as she's over water, I'm like, from 13,000 feet, it doesn't matter what it is.
Water doesn't work like that.
No.
It don't work like that.
Don't work like that, homie.
Speaking of things for knees too, jumping out of planes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's not good on
Heck
knees.
no.
Those guys are. I mean, the way those guys land though, they land like a soft French chef's kiss. Like when they land on the ground.
He's like, just lift your legs up,
butterfly.
slide. It's great.
Wish it was that easy. Like I can't even jump off of a box. I can't do a box jump and land that easy.
Dude, jumping off some of the obstacles yesterday, I'm like, this is gonna hurt.
It's a long way down on a couple of those.
Yeah.
On some of those obstacles.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody ate it.
No, Tasia was talking about how sore her obliques were from the obstacle.
From
course.
what?
I felt bad. She was
What
like,
were you
"Is
using
anybody else
obliques?"
obliques?" Everybody's like,
I'll tell you what, my
no.
traps are killing me from carrying that body
That
armor
kit
all
around,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, kit.
Boy.
How high is that warped wall?
Boy.
too high.
Yeah.
Murph, you got up that, didn't you?
You got up
I
it.
did.
Nice.
2 hands.
I got one
2
hand
hands.
on it and slipped off.
That was a long way up there.
Me and Chandler went early when it was wet.
It was a little wet, a little
wet.
slippery.
I'm tall. Yeah.
But-
I mean,
But no excuse. We should have done it. Play
Tall.
like a champion, you know?
Chandler did
Rule
it last time.
76.
No
That's what they
excuses,
say.
you know?
76. Do you have one of those?
No, I want one now.
You?
I want one now.
Got one at the house.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, my dad went to Notre Dame.
Oh. Oh, play like a champion? Heck yeah. Yeah, I've got multiple.
I thought you were talking about warped wall.
Your dad went to Notre Dame?
No. Play like a champ. Yeah.
Dude, how did we not talk about this yet? Are you a Notre
I
Dame
don't
fan?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, as much as
Oh.
a
As
graduate's
much
son
as-
can be. I mean, I grew up going to games. And
I mean,
stuff
my
like that,
grandfather and I'm a Notre Dame fan, you
Yeah.
know? Like, okay.
Cool.
Dude.
Cool.
I honestly, I was talking, like, I think when my kids get a little bit older and start to either go to college or maybe high school, when they don't want to hang out with me anymore, and, you know, I've already got a million things going on, but I think I want to try to get, like, my master's or something in something from Notre Dame, just as, like, a legacy
alum.
Just to
type
say
deal.
you went,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
So,
great.
that's
I'm a
something.
Boston College fan.
I hate you.
Just kidding.
Game's over.
BC.
The game's over, man.
I'm just saying, trying to jab at you.
Yeah. No.
At least they beat them this time.
They did, man. I was more worried about that game than Clemson game, so. Who's your college?
champion.
Are you Army
Gators.
fan or? Gators, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Originally
Army.
Gators, though?
I was definitely more of a Gators fan in college because Army football had been pretty terrible for like the last 15 years. They started getting good right after I left, so I've become the biggest fan since. Cause I'm the first time. I'm a fair weather fan. That's kind of like my
understand.
thing across the board.
Man, I'm not, unfortunately. I wish
Detroit
I was.
Lions,
I'm a
that's
Detroit
rough.
Lions. It's been a rough life, man. And actually, Notre Dame really is like
They're not
every
great.
year, like
Yeah.
hopes up. And I'm a realist, honestly, when it comes to it. But I still just want them to win, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I like.
But I'm
that's something
not a
like-
fair weather fan.
I
Yeah.
feel sorry for you.
And your
And
hopes and
I-
dreams disappear like Teo's girlfriend at the end. Just every time.
Was she ever there though?
You know, that's probably where your hopes should have been too.
Man, that's mean. It's not
Sorry,
nice.
that was on
Was
him.
it not nice to me or not nice to? Never mind. But yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite memory from Notre Dame Stadium?
From where?
Notre Dame Stadium. You said you went to a
Notre
couple
Dame
games?
Stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, touchdown Jesus.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Until you can't see it anymore.
Yeah, no,
But-
that sucks. I
yeah,
don't like
that's
that
a
they
super
put a
bummer.
scoreboard or a replay board up.
Yeah.
I think that's what I liked so much about when I went is there was no replay board, so nobody's on their phone, you know, or nobody's
For
half
sure.
watching the screen and half
So
watching
they
the
actually
game.
covered touchdown Jesus
They didn't
up
cover
with the scoreboard?
well from the stadium. You
Yeah.
can't see touchdown Jesus from the stadium because of the new addition stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind
But
of
I mean, I would and he knows this is I'm kind of a cold weather guy.
Yeah.
So being up there in South Bend, like it's
yeah.
cold. Like to me, like just visually, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it like the campus with snow
Yeah,
on
it's
top
awesome.
of it, and it's
Dude.
chilly outside and walking around. Like that's
Cool.
This is an
It's
important
football,
question.
you know?
optimal.
Are
What's
you
up?
guys hot weather? I've had some roommates between Shark and Vic. They're more cold weather people than I
Dude.
am, and it's very important to know like what type of.
I hate humidity with a passion.
Really?
But you have to know I'm a heavy sweater. Like
Yeah.
I sweat profusely. So like in the summer sometimes I can't even do anything with any type of grip because of
Really?
how much I'll go through grips each session.
Really?
Each workout even.
That's
even
a lot
rounds
of
at
sweat.
times.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I sweat so much that like I can't even like I don't even want to be outside because it's so miserable. So I actually do enjoy when it gets below 70. Like I'm like 70 is about good. If it would stay like 75 year round, I would be happy. But I don't mind the cold. Honestly, like this right now, lifting like wearing joggers and lifting.
Oh, it's
joggers, no shirt or something like that. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
You
I
know,
hate the cold weather. Hate it. I grew up in Colorado, which is not. It's not like Michigan or anything. But
It's
I
cold. It's still cold, man.
I hate the snow. I want to. My
I hate
wife
wind.
actually.
I hate wind. Is what I hate.
Yeah, wind is not good,
Wind's always miserable.
but
Cold and wind.
My wife
is
kind of
good.
tricked me when we were moving to Tennessee because she was like, "Hey, it's near the beach, and we're going south." It's still
It's
still
near the
cold in
beach.
Tennessee.
We get like two
Yeah,
and a half.
that's a lie.
2 months of
Are you
cold.
looking at Matt?
No, I didn't. I'm just
That's
like,
on
all
you
right,
then.
we're
Right there.
going. I want to get out of Colorado. I'm good. Let's go.
Where were you at in Colorado?
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Oh man,
Loveland, Colorado.
Up
I don't
near
know if I would take-
Wyoming. That's out.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, on the highway there. I've been there my whole
Colorado.
life. though, so
We were
I
just talking about. It's
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay.
ready to do something different.
Yeah,
Love Colorado.
nature-wise, like
Yeah, I wouldn't live there, but like visiting.
What are you? Hot, cold? What are you?
definitely hot. Having all my
You said
formative
from
years.
Florida, right? Yeah.
I
about
think it's
down
mostly
here?
the wrestling room thing. Like
Uh-oh.
all the workouts I did were like in
Hot.
real sweaty dungeon type place and stuff. So that's like my zone. But then when you have
But
people,
you're cold weather, like
oh yeah, and then we we had a few years ago when we went to Europe. So I was like a mechanized infantry platoon leader, and so we were heading to Germany to do this training exercise. We were supposed to bring our vehicles from Bulgaria out to Germany, but in Europe, because everybody's got their own ancient history railroad gauge size, it takes forever to transfer anything across like different countries' borders. So our vehicles didn't get there, and we were like, oh cool, like they're not going to send us out into the German forest for 2 weeks without our vehicles because like we don't have any of our cold weather stuff, so like they're not gonna do that. Like, nice, we're gonna get to hang out. And they were like, actually, you guys got feet, and those seem to work pretty well. So go ahead and grab what you can, and just you guys will hang out there. And it was the coldest 2 weeks of my life. We had, grown men, just everybody, like every night, 3 or 4 dudes like wrapped under a blanket, just like all shivering together, trying to stay warm.
Manferno.
Great trip, Manferno. Yeah, great training. But after that, like my fingers get real cold real quick. So I really, really don't like the cold now.
That's
that made
horrible.
It was horrible. Yeah, that was a miserable time.
Yeah.
The
Seriously.
super soldiers here would even it out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
that's what I'll do it for. I'll feel like we came out all right in the trade there.
Well, you sweat too. We were talking about that. I feel like you
I
could
could give Rich a
Rich a run for the money.
Think so?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
an A1 sweater.
Really?
Sweating's like a skill for wrestling, for cutting weight and
Yeah, that's
everything
true.
too. So I used to like.
I don't know
meditate.
where mine came from. I guess it's just genetic, but man, I sweat. So like
senior
I can
sweat?
be, yeah, he sweats. My mom, everybody's. I can be done with a session. It looks like I'm swimming. I just jumped in the pool in the summer. It's miserable.
Ben's looking out here with
I know
binoculars.
he's
That's
binoculars.
weird.
It is strange.
I mean, we're done, but done, and he's kind of creeping there. So
There's a way.
weirdo.
Ben's looking through the window,
Weirdo.
waving at us.
Yeah,
What are they doing in there?
I don't know.
know.
They're camera guys. Camera guys are weird.
Who knows?
True.
Aren't you a camera guy technically?
Yeah.
Just kidding. It was a joke, man. Light up.
We're weirdos. I get along really well with these guys.
I
They
know.
gotta-
'Cause you guys are all weird, yeah.
yeah, I know.
We were just joking about Scott. Scott's new to the team. He's funny, but he's
Well, you're pretty fit for a camera guy.
you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strongest camera guy in CrossFit. I'm asking.
No.
Oh, am I?
I don't know. I don't know if we can give him that.
Who would
Strongest?
be?
Strongest army.
We can get real specific. He's definitely the strongest.
I don't know
Army
any camera guys.
guy in
No.
Kentucky.
Is there a stronger cameraman?
well. What do you snatch?
Who would it be?
Well, it would have been
Dre.
before Dre.
Before he.
Yeah,
Is Dre strong?
he used to be.
Oh shoot.
Now he's a runner.
I don't know.
He cleaned. I want to say he cleaned he cleaned and jerked 345 at the games.
Oh, then
You did that?
best ever 360.
Nice, heck yeah.
Well,
Okay.
359.8, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's right there.
He's right there.
He's right
Used
there.
to be right
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
He's not anymore. You're definitely now.
Yeah.
Ben, actually. Ben's super strong.
And strong.
Maybe that's what we make him do tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Lift off.
Well, he's got
Maybe.
hold on.
Maybe it's
Me involved, you're saying?
What's your snatch?
maybe it's Army versus Mayhem
I'm cool with that.
tomorrow.
What's your snatch?
I'm cool
I'm
with
into
that.
As long as it's not
300.
fitness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're definitely stronger, man. Yeah.
We were telling Rich how it's almost the Army Warrior strength and conditioning team more than CrossFit. We were like, oh, like machines, great,
Machines,
like lifting,
bars.
awesome. And then he was like, oh, let's do this basic gymnastics workout. And like,
Okay.
toes to bar, fall apart, people can't handstand walk. Yeah. I blame it on their coach. Their coach is terrible at programming gymnastics things, and
That's
he's
crazy.
not good at it. I'm
I
the
know.
coach, so
better.
Oh, you're the coach. Okay.
Yeah.
know.
I wouldn't make fun of it if somebody else. You always speak good about everyone else and only self-deprecate. But for real though, that's like it's cool to be picking stuff up across the board. Been able to get a lot of information, but like the programming for the gymnastics stuff from the 2 times we got a chance to train, like that open-ended style of just like accumulate volume until you reach that point of like
Almost
right
failure.
before, of
Yeah.
almost failure,
Yeah.
and then like knowing to stop right there. Like I don't think we get to that enough, and it's not something I'd seen really too much outside of training with you before. So I'm always just blatantly stealing people's ideas and claiming those my own.
That's all I did, you know. Like, and then try them out, and then I'm like, oh, let's tweak this a little bit, you know. I think that's kind of the beauty of what, you know, CrossFit is, I guess.
I know you always have like a really good attitude, but is there anything you just don't like to see in a workout? You're just like, man.
There's lots of things.
Plenty of things.
Yeah. If it's been several years since I first started trying to achieve a front rack position, and it hasn't happened successfully yet. So any cleans, thrusters, front squats, wall balls, and you do all those movements a lot in CrossFit, which is really unfortunate. So if it was burpee fit, I'd be awesome.
Good to go.
Yeah, I'd be good to go. But not so great at the front rack stuff. What about you? What do you like? What don't you like?
Oh, shoot, man.
This is actually a good one for you, too, because
I just don't like to run.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be moving, bro.
You're a pretty good
2
runner.
years
Yeah.
old. I'm happy to be moving.
Not a great runner.
No?
I've gotten better.
You've gotten way better.
I was a really bad runner.
It just hurts or what?
Yeah, I'm just a baby.
Ah.
You know, oh, it kind of hurts my knee. I should slow down. You know, oh, I can't breathe. I'm gonna slow down even more. Oh, I'm gonna walk. Yeah. So I've gotten better at that though. Like that's one thing that I've learned over the years is this time of year not as much. You know, like I don't necessarily this time of year I want to enjoy fitness, and so I don't do a ton of things that I don't like. But starting in January, it's like, all right, let's do some shit that I don't like. So no.
That's the part I'm most excited about whenever this is all said and done, is to just do there's ever a
fun stuff,
workout
like
with
today.
like thrusters, I'll be like, no,
I don't want
How
to.
would I do that? This is ridiculous.
Boom.
Yep, I'm gonna do curls again, just like I did yesterday.
Yep. Maybe some strict pull-ups. You know? Yep. So awesome. Well, boys.
Thanks.
Appreciate the last couple of days, man. It's been
Absolutely.
incredible. We've had a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you very
guys
much.
were great.
Yeah, we're grateful that you guys came down. We're super
And
excited
hopefully
that you guys
hopefully
are
some
here.
more trips, and you guys come down to Cookeville in the next couple of weeks. Going to do a little athlete camp. And
Good
come
to go
on down.
Start getting the
Bring the mountain bikes.
Oh boy, we actually should.
You should for
Yeah,
sure.
we're coming
'Cause
down.
We have a
We'll bring
trail.
'em. Yeah, we're bringing them.
Chandler
We're bringing
sliding
them.
down in his chair.
Yeah, dog.
There's nowhere to run, unfortunately. So I guess we'll be mountain biking.
We can run
do
and
it.
ride.
Yeah,
Slides more.
I'm in.
Slides more. That'll be cool.
All right.
Excited to be out there.
Peace.
Deuces.